Guten Abend, bonsoir, buonasera, hola. Which one of those ones is the Spanish version? Because I don't even know. I say it, but I don't even know which country is which one. Is it? Which one is it? Hola?
Hola,
Yeah,
hola,
Spanish.
¿cómo
Hola.
estás?
Hola.
Snatches. I think that's you could even in
hola
Spanish.
needs to turn into hola. But my God, people, welcome back to another episode. Your favorite European show, Eurostars, is in the building. I'm having Vimto. Life ain't as
I'm
sweet as
having
Vimto right
Cadbury,
now.
but there's no
Yeah,
sun
having Cadbury,
shining,
son.
but get me.
Yeah, it is what it is, bro. Me and you got to talk in a little while. I could. We're gonna discuss it. I could. I could be on Man.
You could be a red.
I could be. I could be. We will discuss that maybe. Of course, I've got Tyrone, I've got Michael, I've got Sani, I've got Bilal. We're gonna have the City fan in the resident fan in the building very soon. He's a bit emotional right now, talking to his friends and his families. Like half the Man City fan base, basically. You know what I mean? So he's gonna be about 20 minutes, 15 minutes. We give him his space. Sam's gonna be in the building. We got some of the usual faces. Yeah, it's a matter of just drinking up and watching this machine in action. We're gonna get into it, but I come to you, Bilal, man. How's your evening after that? And telling me about the European energy when I'm schooling you in the WhatsApp and telling you how the game's gonna go on a minute by minute basis, almost. How do you feel after that?
You know what? Fair play. I'll start with that to you, Grizz. You know what? Fair play. You called it. Before the game, I was like, I can't decide. I even put a poll on the Twitter page. It's like, guys, help me out. I think everyone was voting for Real Madrid. I think that was people living in hope that, Man City maybe wouldn't do it. People trying to hate on Man City. But yeah, man, honestly, Pep Guardiola, Man City, I think this might be arguably his best ever team. And it's mad to say. It's definitely, for me, his best ever Man City team, right? And then I look at, going back in the day, how I was growing up watching Pep Guardiola. The guy made me dream about football, if that makes sense. I remember the games between Barcelona and Arsenal, right? I'm an Arsenal fan. We're getting smoked, but I'm leaving the game and I'm just like, wow, I'm just amazed by the football of Barcelona. Just how they were so mesmerizing. And Pep just keeps giving us this feeling time after time after time. So big up Man City, I know people talk about 115 charges, blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. But in terms of just the football that we see on the pitch, you can't just help but admire it. So yeah, fair play to them.
Now that's a fair assessment. I'm not gonna lie, especially coming from you. I thought you're gonna be a bit more salty than that, but fair play to you. That's quite nice from you. But Sane, obviously we're gonna get into sort of one of the legs of the treble will mean overcoming you in the final as well. But we'll forget that. This is Eurostars. We ain't got time for Man United, and they ain't got nothing to do with the Champions League right now. So it is what it is. But what went through your? Well, what were your? I can't remember your predictions or analysis, pre-game analysis, how this tie was going to go. Maybe not the game. How did you think this tie was going to go? Remind us all before I check the footage.
Of course. So first leg, I thought City were going to win 2-1. Of course, they got a 1-1 draw. Today, my head said 3-1 City. My heart said 3-1 Madrid just because I couldn't stand the sight of seeing Man City in the final. But I thought Man City were going to make the final. I was very, very adamant they will. And they have done. And listen, the next couple of weeks, Ty is on the stream. So is Michael. It's going to be painful. It's going to be painful. I've just spoken to a few Man United fans and I said, you're the same Man United fans that wanted Arsenal not to win the league, to bottle it because you're sick of Arsenal fans or you're around Arsenal fans. But truth be told, June the 3rd, June the 10th, there's some huge games now because our greatest achievement is on the brink of getting emulated by our neighbours. So in the words of Castillo, it is not looking good, Brev.
It's not looking good, Brev. But for someone who is looking good and will come to him, we'll duck Michael and Ty for just a couple of minutes because it's only fair. We welcome Sam, who's decided to wear the Man City top today as opposed to the Dortmund one. I guess have to ask you how you feeling after that before we get into the game. How are you feeling, man? We just basically, Ty told us that you're calling friends and family and we were wondering, like, will that mean more fans than in the stadium than you know, in your phone book? But yeah, welcome to the stream, Sam.
How we doing? Yeah, how am I feeling? Wow, it's hard to sum up, really. Shocked in some ways. I think a lot of people.
Are you shocked?
I think it's just in the matter of how dominant it was. Really, I think there was always obviously potential to show up and win tonight, and we put ourselves in a great position to get through. But yeah, just seeing City beat Real Madrid 4-0 at home. This is new. We've City fans have seen the full spectrum of things over the years, and certainly since I've been supporting them. This is kind of like new territory now. Beating a team with that prestige at this stage of the competition. It's the first time we've actually won with the fans inside the Etihad as well to get through to the final. Last time was behind closed doors against PSG. So yeah, just a whole new experience.
Whole feeling and experience. And we're going to get onto that because I have non-stop debates with Man City fans who don't feel it. Who don't feel the Champions League. And they say, yeah, whatever, if it comes, it comes. But you're suggesting that it's a whole new feeling. And we've won it. Who else has won it here? Okay, United have won it. We'll tell you that when you win it, there's no other feeling quite like it. You've won trophies galore. When you win this Champions League, it's a whole, and Chelsea fans say the same, it's a whole different feeling. Do you think a lot of your fan base will have a change of opinion on the whole Champions League stuff? If you win it?
I think they will, but I don't think they'll change their opinion that much because I think a lot of it is just like a defensive thing for having not won it.
I agree. Yeah,
the pain and the failure in it, and ultimately achieving in a competition so far, that does take time to grow into as a club. I think on and off the pitch, and I think a lot of City fans have said, you know, me included, that some years you'd rather win the league because that's what we've had success doing. That's week in, week out. But yeah, so it is new territory in a lot of ways. So yeah, in some ways you don't know how to feel until it happens, till you get it over the line.
100%.
And yeah, I'm going to obviously enjoy this win now, and then hopefully Sunday as well. We'll finish the job in the Premier League over the weekend, and then it's just 2 games away. Then 2 games to focus on.
It's come to you, Ty. Oh my God, it's hand in head times or head in hand times. Either way, depends on the size of your hands, really. Which one's bigger? But it's mad, innit? Like watching them today, it was utter dominance.
Dominant. Do you know what? I obviously I work with Sam. I said to him today, I was like, Sam, you've got this. So he hates sitting next to me, because I'm like, we're in the final, you've won it. Just like, you know, I'm also trying to get myself mentally prepared so it doesn't feel as bad. You know what it's like. You know, we all do that as football fans. But I said, Sam, you guys have got this. You've gone to Real Madrid and got a draw. I thought they'll beat Real Madrid over the 2 legs anyway. But the fact that there are no away goals, it makes it simple as this. You've been at home. Your last loss was Brentford at home. Your last draw was Everton at home. You're 25 unbeaten in the Champions League at home. It's 90 minutes. Just simple message. Go and win this game of football. It doesn't matter what's happened in the past. Just win this 90 minutes of football. And you're in the Champions League. And what City done so well, that what they also done at the Bernabeu, is the first 20 minutes at the Bernabeu was dominance. I don't care what anyone says. It was dominance. They was kind of unlucky to go 1-0 down, to be totally honest. But today, the difference was they had their chances in the first 20 minutes, didn't take them, but they kept going, didn't allow Madrid to even sort of gather a bit of momentum, and they just killed the game sort of in the first half. And you know, when you're at home and it's in the first half and the way City play their football, if you then start opening up and trying to be expansive, City are then going to hit you anyway on the break, because they've got Erling Haaland who would love to play on the shoulder and get through. So everything that City wanted to do, they done it. And Pep said it in his press conference. For once, I am not going to overthink. And that actually tells me a sign of Pep Guardiola knowing that in past, people have said you've overthought this or you've changed this in the Champions League final.
He's aware. He's aware.
Yeah, and it was with him, but you wouldn't really know it's with him until he said it. And I thought when he said that, he's just going to play the same team. And he's going to say, boys, just go out and do what you've done all year and win this game of football. And this team can't be stopped. And I agree with Bilal in terms of, I don't want to say yet it's the best team under Pep, because that Barcelona side was amazing, of course, and I feel like people forget how good it was because it feels like a decade ago. But this Man City team, I just feel like it's the best Man City team he's had under Pep. They've had under Pep. I just feel like what it is with Man City now is that Pep had his style of play, Grizz, and would win games sort of trying to dominate the ball. But now with the types of Akanji they've got there, John Stones slotting in, you've got your Bernardos, but then you've got your Grealish, you've got your Haalands, De Bruyne is still there. They can win games in all different types of ways now. City done it their way today, which is how they want to win games. But we've seen over the season, they've had to grind out some 1-0. They've had to be physical at times. And, this team right now are just, like, if they don't win it, when will they win it? It has to happen this year. It has to happen. They've been the best team in Europe, back to front, and this is their opportunity. And do you know what? I hate to say it, Grizz, but as a Man United fan, they deserve it. Like, I'm a football fan as well. Like, I don't want to just say, Man City this and that. No, they've been very good this year. At crunch time, they've done it in the league, and now they do it in the Champions League. What more can we say?
Michael Varun says, most dominant performance by a team during the course of 90 minutes since the 2011 Champions League final against quality sides coached by the same man, Josep Guardiola. Thoughts on today?
I predicted it last week. I brought up the stats. I said City haven't lost at home. People on Twitter told me it wasn't a fortress at the Etihad. I said it is a fortress. They don't lose there anymore in big games. And Madrid, if they don't win that first leg at the Bernabeu, they're not going to be able to make it back up. The stats show that they've never done it before. And then, like the comment said, that was just pure dominance. From the first minute, you knew City were winning. Like, Real Madrid had no chance. And the one thing you notice, we all talk about Benzema, right? Kroos, Modric. We all talk about how they define the expectations for, like, age, not looking old. Despite today, each and every one of them looked their age. Modric looked like he was 40 years old today. Benzema, he looked washed. Kroos, he looked out of his depth, probably because he was playing the 6 when he's not really a 6. That's more on Ancelotti, but they just looked old. That looked like an old, washed Real Madrid team when a lot of people consider them to be the favorite, some didn't, obviously. But if anyone could have beaten the City team, everyone thought it would be the heritage team, Real Madrid. But honestly, I thought Bayern played better against Real Madrid, against Man City than Real Madrid did. I've seen Premier League teams play better against Man City than Real Madrid did today. They look like a relegation team. That's what Man City made them look like today. And that's all credit to Pep. I think the best Man City team, I think it is because it's the most balanced. It's not the most entertaining. Obviously, I think the Centurions team was more entertaining because they had the dynamic wingers. But this is a Champions League winning Man City team because they're physical. They have like 4 center backs in the back. You just can't get past them. Kyle Walker was a lockdown defender today. Vinicius couldn't do anything. Ruben Diaz, he's the ultimate box defender. He's a warrior. Akanji, solid. Rodri, they're just so physically balanced. And I tweeted this. I said, if they get over the hump this year, what's stopping them from doing like a 2P or 3P? Because the gap between them and the other teams in Europe has never been bigger before. They look head and shoulders above every team because Real Madrid, the team, they haven't bought that many in the summer. They only buy like 1 or 2 players in the summer. They can't make up the gap to Man City. Us in the Premier League, we look far below them. The Bundesliga, Bayern have their own mess. PSG are PSG. No one will ever trust them to compete for the Champions League anymore. So it just looks like a team that's ready to really monopolize Europe the way that they monopolized England.
This is why Liverpool fans used to speak about us for a reason. Everyone used to say, whatever. This is why we competed with these guys on a regular. Now you guys maybe will see or put some respect because we actually picked these fuckers to the title and won the Champions League in the same era and reached another Champions League and took them to the last day twice. And Man City fans will tell you, Sam will tell you, they actually were the only team they worried about pretty much in Europe. Is that fair to say, Sam? I think that's fair to say. I think the facts speak for themselves.
Yeah, stylistically, definitely. Obviously, we came up against Liverpool every year, and there were always, there was no real games like tonight where it was just completely one-sided.
No chance. Yeah,
very,
both teams. Yeah,
few, never really. So yeah, Liverpool probably were that as close as it got. We played maybe not this well. We played as well last year in the Champions League against Real Madrid in the same tie. Didn't get what we deserved. A lot more defensively solid, like Greaves was saying. Just out and out defenders, but yeah, in terms of being better than the rest of Europe, I think that will be the case for a few years because of the Premier League dominance as well. I think the Premier League, there's a few teams that have slipped up and not played to their level this season. But the way the gap is going across Europe and the way the money is moving just purely into the Premier League, it's going to be a big opportunity for a few Premier League teams now to get to finals and to win over the next sort of 5 to 10 years, I think.
Sonny, you was nodding your head when Ty and Bilal were saying it's the best Man City team. What's your thoughts on that? You don't think it's the best Man City team, or are you not entertained? Is it the entertainment factor, or you actually in terms of quality think that it's not the best team?
No, I think people. This is just my opinion anyway, because I saw the comment about how this was the most dominant performance since the 2011 UCL final, but people are very, very quick to forget history. I mean, in the 2013 season, for example, Bayern beat Barca 4-0 in one leg and 3-0 in one leg, and that was one of the best Barca sides of all time. So again, people do a lot of revisionism. As for this, whether this side is the best Man City side of all time, it's definitely without question up there. But that 17-18 side, back to front, was unbelievable. I mean, if we look at their team, for example, Sane, Aguero, Sterling at top, De Bruyne, David Silva, Fernandinho in the middle. The balance was perfect in the centre-back position. They also had Company, who wasn't always fit, but Otamendi was insane with Stones. Walker one side, Delph, who kind of, you could say, was a makeshift left-back, which Akanji was kind of doing this season, was a left-sided centre-back as well, and Edison. I mean, I even posed this question to Sam a few weeks back when I said to him, who do you think was more dominant, 17-18 Centurions or this team? And I think Sam, who's probably best placed to answer this, being the City fan, I think he even said 17-18. But trophies are the biggest currency in football, right? I mean, if we look at, let's say, Pep Guardiola's Barca team, everyone talks about 10-11, but 10-11 didn't actually win the treble. The team that won the treble was the 08-09 team. So again, it depends how you see it. For me personally, I think that 17-18 team was very, very dominant. But the way Man City are playing right now, it's hard to argue against it. But for me, like I said, 17-18 was a...
Can I ask you something, Sani? If this 17-18 team plays this current Man City team, you think the 17-18 team beats them?
For me personally, I think they do. I think they do beat them.
Let's go around, actually. It's a good question, actually, because I'll give my opinion on this. Obviously, you're right. Sonny's absolutely spot on. It's subjective. It's how you see it. And I think how you sometimes see it obviously depends on the individual. You know, that's why I asked, are you not entertained? Because sometimes people look for entertainment, like Barcelona team, for example, compared to sort of some other teams that have dominated in the past, the Juve teams, the AC Milan teams, maybe more mechanical. You know, the Man United team wasn't always amazing to watch under Fergie. Definitely the Chelsea, that Chelsea first dominant team he had with Joel Cole and Duff and Robin on the wings was magnificent to watch. But then the second team that he created was an absolute machine with Essien and Cole in there, Drogba, Essien and Cole. It was an absolute winning machine. So I guess it's up to you how you view it and what you enjoy. The defining factor for me in this team is what Ty said in terms of he has so many weapons in his armory to play any style he wants. If you want to play tiki-taka with him, he can bring in the likes of Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, and play Mahrez. He'll play you off the pitch. But what this team has developed, in my opinion, is the off-the-ball, indestructible transition defense. You cannot penetrate this team now off the ball in transition. It took them about 5-6 months, of course, because they brought in a total different revolutionary type striker, completely different from what they were used to. And to evolve that in the season, this is why I think this is the greatest season for them, especially if they do add the Champions League to it, because they've evolved stylistically during the season, pretty much. And everyone thought pre-Christmas, it's not that City. Haaland's making them worse or whatever. Stylistically, they're not functioning. But to coach them through that and to get this to this level, I think they're the most physically dominating team in Europe. There's no doubt about it. There's 5-6 foot plus monsters in that team. If you get past them, then you've got the tenacity and the non-stop effort. Because we saw Bernardo Silva, who's been under criticism. We saw Bernardo Silva and Jack Grealish put in defensive masterclass off the ball. Not only on the ball were they magnificent, off the ball. For me, in terms of a complete footballing unit, this is the one. Yes, that Man City team would play you off the park. That Man City team was comparable to his Barca teams. This is something for me, again, just my opinion. I don't think you can compare to any of his teams at any of his clubs because he's developed or evolved a new playing style. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
Anybody
no,
else wanna come in?
I agree. I agree with that 100%. I think this Man City team, this current moment, since the turn of the year, we've seen how they've developed. The way they're even building up from the back, everything is just literally, for me, perfect, right? And it's hard to come across perfection in football. When we talk about the best ever Pep Guardiola teams, the thing is, with the Barcelona teams, they will always have the edge on paper just because of Messi. Like,
One
this
guy.
is the, yeah, exactly. But you take out the Messi factor and you look at the pure coaching job that Guardiola's done with this Man City team, and I think it's his best ever job. Out of all of it, I think this is the most impressive thing he's done in terms of how he has built and shaped this Man City team from a team that was struggling to function, a team, and we say struggling to function, we mean by their standards because we know how good they could be, and we're seeing it now. You know, I think this is so impressive by Pep Guardiola, and we need to give him the credit, of course, if he beats Inter, beats Man United, and of course, the Premier League is pretty much done now. So if he gets this treble with the job he's done mid-season, the Cancelo transfer to Bayern,
there is a
all of this
caveat.
sort of
I
stuff.
agree. There is a caveat. He has to finish job.
Yeah, you got to finish the job 100%. If you don't finish the job, then at the end of the day, we're maybe talking too early. But we're so close to the end of the season at this point. We've seen so much evidence from this Man City team. They just need to close out the job. It should be simple from here, but of course, it's football. Anything can happen. We've seen crazier things before in the past. But yeah, this Man City team are so, so good. And I'm just so impressed with the way they were playing, the way they were counter-pressing, the way they were winning the ball back today was unbelievable. The Real Madrid players, I know we're saying Cruz, Modric, all of these guys, they haven't got the legs, but the determination from the Man City players was just top-notch. And to bring on the likes of Foden, Mahrez, and Alvarez later on as well, it's just scary. It's just scary what the riches they have at the same time as this, fully developed team now. I think they're perfect in all aspects, defensively, in midfield, in attack. Second half, they can just sit back. If, for example, even a slight criticism of the game from Guardiola could have been maybe should have took off De Bruyne a little bit more early because he did look a little bit leggy after like the 65th minute. Maybe bring in a Foden then. Imagine maybe they could have scored 4, 5, 6 early on. It could have been even more embarrassing. So
if it wasn't for Courtois making elite world-class saves that we can talk about for years, maybe that could have been 6-7 people. That could have been 6-7. Of course, an excited City fan in the building, MCFC Solo sending a super chat. He says, F history, F heritage. We are inevitable. 4-0 against the biggest club in the world, ? We are creating history. You live in the past all you want, one at a time. It's going to be history, of course it is, Sam. The league's wrapped up, for sure. The FA Cup's wrapped up, for sure.
Excuse me?
For sure.
Unless they give Man United offside goals again.
We don't know.
You never know.
We don't know. We don't know. We're
Man United beat them already this season, man. 2-1.
Yeah.
Offside goals, but it could happen again.
Shit can happen. But this is Eurostars, so we've got to talk about the European aspect. And we know you face Inter Milan, who I knew were going to bulldoze, do the same job on what you're going to do on Madrid. And it panned out. No shocks, basically, in either game or in either leg. Inter Milan stand in your way. Please tell me you are very, very confident. That laugh tells me you're not. Ty, you got to get hold of him, man. You got to get hold of him and work again, man.
I know. He just beat Madrid 4-0
and he's worried about
Edin Dzeko and
Dumfries. Damian.
Mkhitaryan.
I think tonight felt so big because it did kind of feel like the final in a lot of ways. We are better than this Inter team. As time goes on, it gets closer to the final. I will feel less and less confident. I think that's normal. Yes, from the day before the final, I'll probably try and tell Ty it's a 50-50 and he'll have a go at me in the office. But yeah, it is one of those. We are better than Inter. It's not comparable. But we've also been better than Spurs and Lyon and Monaco and all the other teams we've messed up against. But hopefully, this is different for all the reasons that we've just said and gone over. I suppose out of the two teams that could have been playing us in the final, Inter are the harder of the two, I think,
Agreed.
in terms of just more weapons, I think. A few more goals, a bit more threat up top. But yeah, we should be able to pin them back and apply the same pressure. I think the one thing that Inter haven't really got, that they have it down the sides, they haven't got a lot of pace through the middle, especially if they go with Dzeko and Martinez. And if we can suffocate them like we did with Madrid tonight, even with they like to be solid, 5 at the back, etc. Very probably typical Italian kind of approach that we're going to get in the final. But yeah, I think we'll have too much. I hope we have too much. I can say this now. Now we're however many weeks away. After the night before, a bit different answer.
Yeah, I am going to ask you the night before. Griggs, very briefly, because there's not much to touch upon that semi-final. It was a drab, typical, oh man, dare I say Italian affair, all Italian affair. We kind of knew the outcome. Milan started off a bit of passion, a bit of fire, first opening 10 minutes. Who's that young guy? Diaz, who should have scored maybe that side
for as well when he was a youngster. Yeah.
Yeah. And Tonali
Real Madrid
looked
as well.
lively. Tonali looked lively in the first couple of 10-15 minutes. Inter just, I don't know, how did you see it? Did you think there was any chance for Inter, the AC Milan to come back?
I gave them the first 20 minutes because, see how they would do it. And then once Brahim Diaz missed that sitter, because that was a sitter for me, like the whole goal was open, you just got to smash it. This new football, players keep like toe tapping it to like the goalkeeper instead of just smashing the ball into the net. It's very frustrating. But once that didn't go in,
it's the FIFA generation, man. He's trying to do that side foot finish like
just smash the ball, bro. The whole goal is wide open. Good say about Nana to be fair to hold on to it. But now once the first 20 minutes passed, it was over for me. Inter, they were just too dominant. AC Milan, that might be the worst semifinal team we've ever seen in Champions League history. That's a weak team.
Anybody got any other shouts for that? Because that's a shout for me.
Schalke on the Ragnick. Schalke on the Ragnick might be the only other one.
them.
And we smashed them in the semifinal. That might be the only other team that's as bad as them.
I'm thinking in recent times, anyone else got any shouts for the worst semifinal?
Did Villarreal make the semifinal?
Villarreal was all right, man.
That Villarreal team was
all right.
Yo, man, just because we smashed.
But they had Unai Emery, so I respect Unai Emery way more than I respect Pioli. No disrespect to Pioli, but Unai Emery in the European, you give him a chance, and they showed up too. They tied the leg for like the first half when they came back, and then obviously
that Villarreal team 100% beats this Milan.
Yeah, this Milan team is just poor, man. That they just didn't want to fight anything. It's a derby too. They just like to fight, but in terms of Inter, like looking forward to the final and everything, I think Inter will probably be a little tougher than maybe the Madrid team that they face, because I think Inter haven't conceded a goal, by the way, in the knockout stages. They've conceded 0 goals in the knockout stages so far, so they have that kind of confidence going in for them. Obviously, they haven't versed an attack like Man City, nowhere near that caliber, but they'll have that confidence in them. Onana's been very good. They're in good form as well. They've won like 8 on the bounce in all competitions, so that's a lot in terms of like maybe Man City could be like a little less scared because they're playing a team in really good form, but if Man City score that first goal, it's over. That's all they have to do. That first goal goes in because, like Sam mentioned, they have no pace. They have no counterattack threat. Dumfries and maybe DeMarco down the flanks might be the only one. But Edin Dzeko, great player, but he's not the best player to play against Man City. Lukaku isn't the fastest anymore either. He's lost a little bit of pace as the years have gone by. Lautaro Martinez, I don't trust that guy as much as he's been good. I still think that he isn't him in a sense. And that midfield, if they play like a Mkhitaryan, Çalhanoğlu, like pivot with like a Barella, that's going to get slaughtered. So maybe Brozovic comes in, but it just looks like a Man City, probably like a 2-3-0 in a sense. That's what it's looking like right now.
Sonny, the game did not match the atmosphere. Pixelate Pigeon says it was a sensational atmosphere. Both legs. The atmosphere reminded me of the good old days of the Milan derbies and Serie A on the whole.
I love the way they celebrate goals as well, like when they're towering hands on the thing.
That is Serie A heritage. We're talking about today the ex Real Madrid heritage because Man City busted that today. But we talk about Serie A heritage. Sonny, the atmosphere and everything was magnificent, but that game was poor, and AC were far poorer than Inter in the end, basically.
Yeah, no, 1,000,000%. And just, quickly touching upon the atmosphere, I was lucky enough to attend the Milan derby about 3 years ago, just before COVID started. I'm not saying I'm the reason it happened, COVID, but I do implore everyone on the stream, everyone that's tuning into the live stream as well, if you ever get a chance to watch a Milan derby, please do it at San Siro. It's an absolute spectacle.
Isn't the stadium coming down?
There's big news of the stadium going down. But for the Winter Olympics. But again, that's still up in arms because, again, it's about where can the teams go and play in the meantime. But like I said, amazing atmosphere. Please do, if you have a chance, go to the Milan derby. It's an amazing spectacle. But you're right, the game was poor. But I think the game was sewn up in the first leg, if we are truthful. I mean, Inter were 2-0 up. They should have been maybe up a few more goals as well. AC, if it's Leao or bust, really, for them. They were really, really poor. And as we saw in the second leg, obviously, in the first leg, without Leao, they were non-existent. And obviously it's good to see the Milan club, especially AC, back in the upper echelons of European football. I mean, I know for a lot of us growing up, we saw the likes of the Maldini 05 team. I mean, I know Grizz remembers Istanbul very, very vividly. We'll get onto Istanbul later and how Inter Milan are in the final. So there's a little bit of romance going, along that way with the Bosphorus. I'm pretty sure Sam's going to be interested riding on that sea from the European to Asia side. But listen, it was a poor game, but Italian football hopefully is coming back to where it used to be, because there were some great sides back in the day. So let's see what happens with the Serie A.
A bit of breaking news about the Carlo Ancelotti. I don't know if anyone's seen it. I don't want anyone to start looking now. Do we think he stays or go without looking? Bilal, you're typing away. Do you think the breaking news is he's staying or he's going?
I think he goes.
He'll want to stay, but I don't know if they'll keep him.
I'm gonna need a sitting on the fence answer. Unless you've Googled it, I want to answer. Sam, what's the breaking news? Does he stay or go?
Breaking news is that he will stay. I'm just going to go opposite.
Michael?
I'm going to say, because I saw about 40 minutes ago that he's staying. So I'm going to stick with that.
Yeah. I would have said gone if I didn't know.
I wouldn't be surprised if you
this
just
is
got
breaking
sacked,
news.
I wouldn't be surprised if you just
I've got Real Madrid fans DMing me saying Florentino Perez out. So at this point, Ancelotti might be staying from what I'm seeing. But yeah.
Sonny, staying or going?
I think he goes.
Breaking news, people, is he's staying. He's come out and said, he's just come out and said, I'm going to be here. I'm going to come back stronger. We are here to win another Champions League. We're going to come back. I think this is at some people thought, there's going to be the end of Ancelotti's time and this and that, and it's time to step down. Well, he's looking like he's fighting back. I don't know. Initial thoughts on that news.
The thing is, right, even if they sack Ancelotti, who do they even get? This is the problem right now. There's not managers. Nagelsmann is the only one who maybe comes to mind. Conte,
Xabi Alonso, maybe.
Xabi Alonso staying at Leverkusen.
Yeah. Too early for Alonso.
Yeah,
who is it? You're right. Who is it?
People said it was early about Zidane, though. Zidane was only really coaching the reserves. He was only an assistant to Ancelotti as well. No one thought Zidane would do the job. That he'd come in halfway through that season as well, because Benitez got sacked, if we do remember. They were 3-0 down to Wolfsburg in the Champions League. 2-0 down in the second leg. They had a 3-0 game where Ronaldo got a hat-trick. So you never know. You never know, Grizz.
It's an interesting one, but Carlos stays. Jiba Football sending a super chat, says, big up Lukaku, who went through a lot this season. Abuse, injuries, doubts. The redemption story will be completed June the 10th. Interistas believe. Ty, this is it, right? I mean, this redemption stories, I know you got vested interest 100% because you got not only Lukaku, you got Darmian and Mkhitaryan, three Man United players.
That Mourinho kind of destroyed, to be honest. But
have Inter got something cooking for you? Have they got something for you?
If I had a preference straight away, I wanted Inter to be playing City because I think they are like some of the two. Inter have to score first. I think if Inter score first, and with the back five, they just need to frustrate City and just hope that City have a day where they're missing the target and Onana's just having a great day in goal, because I do think that Inter are going to be dominated and pegged back, pinned back, should I say? Sorry. I look at that in a team, and I'm just like, where can I see them really getting at Man City, apart from maybe a set piece from a free kick or a corner? I don't see them hurting Man City in transition. I just don't think they obviously have the pace to get in behind. I just think Man City will recycle the ball very quickly when Inter do win the ball back. If anything, I think the best thing for Inter would actually be getting it to the 60th minute at 0-0 and actually bringing on Romelu Lukaku, if I'm totally honest, a bit like the super chat says, I just feel like stylistically, it's like a boxing. I love boxing. Styles make fights, of course. And I just feel like at least if the ball does go in behind, or, you know, there is a transition and it's a 3-on-2, if he does get slipped through, I'm not thinking in my head, okay, Ruben Diaz is just going to shove him off the ball. No, like Lukaku could actually like hold him off and get a shot on goal or something like that. But for me, I think we're all just living in a bit of hope. But you know, these Italian teams, they do defend robustly, and I do think that, you know, Inter won't come there and just want to concede in the first 10 minutes. And in a final, neutral ground, Inter haven't been there since 2010 when they won with Diego Milito and players like that at the Bernabeu. And I remember that when I was at uni. But you know, when you go into them cup finals, you just got to say to yourself, right, they're the better team. But if we get through that 20, 30 minutes, atmosphere kind of goes out the window. Your belief then kicks in, and it's kind of like, right, this is just like a 90-minute game and anything can happen. Like someone said earlier, we've seen stranger things happen in football, and I'd love a stranger story again. But I do think stylistically Inter can cause them trouble if they just defend robustly. Dumfries and DeMarco can come sit back quite tight, because one thing I did notice yesterday actually tactically is Darmian and Dumfries, they kind of doubled up on Leao, and like they didn't focus on going forward. I know they're 2-0 up, but they didn't really focus on going forward, which obviously is what Dumfries wants to do. They might have to adopt the same sort of tactic and say, right, Jack Grealish, let's not get Dumfries on an early yellow card. Darmian and him sort of double up. And I just think they've got to frustrate City. And, you know, anything can happen. And we're all forgetting as well, all it takes is one penalty, one red card, one VAR decision just to turn a game on its edge. So
do you know what? You know what? You're right. You know, when you talk about styles make fights and games, obviously, as well. And this is a test. We're going back to the Sani and you discussing the best team ever debate. And I think this is a massive test for Pep Guardiola. And I don't mean that in the terms of the quality of Inter, in terms of Inter are not the best team around, right? But in terms of adapting his style. If Pep Guardiola plays Haaland the way he's played Haaland against today, as a Haaland is their main weapon in terms of bullying and the way he's going to play against bully centre backs, I think that plays into Inter Milan's hands this time round. Because if nothing else, their centre backs, Acerbi, rugged defender, Bastoni, rugged defender. That's the only way they can frustrate them. But this is where I think Pep's going to show his genius side. And I guess, Sam, I'll come to you first on this. He's going to have to show, and I believe he will show, he's going to show something. He's going to have to show something different tactically. Like Ty's right. Styles make like games and fights. Inter Milan, completely opposite of Real Madrid. Don't want the ball. Not interested in the ball. Want you to go wide and put those crosses in. And if you start spamming crosses against this Inter Milan team, I don't think he will be successful. But I also think Pep's a genius to adapt accordingly, and he'll probably bring in a Mahrez, Bernardo. It'll probably change something up. Don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, he might bring maybe Mahrez in for Bernardo Silva. Though Bernardo Silva played so well tonight, it's like you can really drop him for the final after that performance. But yeah, I think actually this game's probably more kind of similar.
It's tactically intriguing for me. Ty's got me thinking now.
Yeah, it is in terms of a team that does have quality, that does play a lot more pragmatic counter-attacking, but at the same time, this is into a more like the kind of team that City play against on a week-by-week basis. A lot of teams switch up and go far at the back and sit deep against us in the Premier League. It's, you know, the games against your Real Madrids and your Liverpools and your Arsenals that have been a bit different, that we've also done well in the season because of the more of a threat in transition. So this is kind of more of our bread and butter, really, playing teams that will sit deep, try and frustrate, counter-attack, play for a 1-0 sort of set pieces in that sense. But it's a team that are doing it with a lot more quality sort of throughout their team. So that does add a different kind of dimension to it, I guess. But yeah,
I'm looking at just an example. I do think obviously you do beat Inter, Sam, but I'm just thinking like when you even play Brentford at home, obviously they beat you earlier in the season.
Yeah.
Brentford they played that specific game. Obviously they played like Rico Henry and Aaron Hickey on the as wing backs. They played a back five. They frustrated City, but they also I get it. They had Tony and Mbeumo, which is a bit different in terms of the pace element, transition. They had quite a lot of chances on the break, but I'm kind of thinking they might try and set up a bit similar to how Brentford did, and they had
I
their
think
joy.
I think you're
That's spot on, yeah.
I think you're spot on. Sorry, go on. Abdullah.
Yeah, no, Ty literally read my mind. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking Brentford, Inter's like a better version of Brentford in terms of the quality of the players. Inzaghi, one thing he does that Pep doesn't do is utilize the subs. I think Inzaghi's really getting used to using the 5 subs very, very well. Like, he knows when to bring on the players. The wing backs especially, he likes rotating them because that brings extra legs into the team. Lukaku coming on when the game's a bit more open, a bit more free. I think that's really helped him come on and just have these really good 30-minute spells, not 90 minutes where you got to maybe think about, I'm going to play 90 minutes. No, 30 minutes, give us what you've got, give us good touches, set up a goal, have a few shots on goal, just be a nuisance. I think Lukaku's really enjoying that role. And I even heard it in his interview on CBS the other night as well. So I think, to be honest, I look at this Inter team. They're not.
Like, don't get carried away now.
Yeah.
Because this is what you're going to start saying.
He's about to say Inter.
I know. Bilal's about
listen,
to say, you know what?
It wouldn't be beyond the realms of possibility that they could somehow win the game just because of the way they're set up. And we've seen Man City in the past struggle to teams who are set up like Inter, even the likes of Tottenham. How many times have Tottenham done Man City over because of the way they're set up? If Inter can do something similar and Lautaro's on form, you never know. But this Man City team, the difference is, and the difference why we all, I guess, think here Man City are going to win the Champions League is because of how they've developed as a team over the last few months, how strong they've been in defending transitions, how physical they are as well. I think that's the main thing, how physical this team is. It's not your Cancelos, your Zinchenkos. These are real strong defenders, real men in the team. And that's why, even if Inter tries to mix it up, try to go physical to Lukaku, Dzeko, DeMarco tries to, but yeah, exactly. Kyle Walker, do you think he's going to be scared of DeMarco just coming up? And he's going to think that's light work.
Because you're right, you're right. Because Inter would 100% normal in a normal. No, you know what I mean when I say normal City team or City teams of the past, with Zinchenko and Zinchenko and Cancelo, Silva, Mahrez. Yeah, you're talking about. I'm talking about just 5'9", 4-5 of them there. They've got none of that left. You're talking 4 centre backs, 6 foot plus. Then you got Rodri in front. I think KDB 6 foot plus, and then you got Haaland. I've just named you 7 6 foot plus monsters. Çalhanoğlu, how do you say his name, Michael?
Çalhanoğlu.
Yeah. You know him. So, like, normally they'd rely on his set pieces to cause issues. Yeah. You ain't causing issues to that defense. I told you in years gone by, you might be playing for that, and we know Inter Milan would 100% play for that. I don't see any other way, Griggs, of penetrating this Man City team, or is there a way, or is he gonna have to think of? Because Inzaghi has tried to open up stylistically. But now it seems he's reverted back to the Inter style. How does he? Because he has to cause them problems, not only defend. Or are we talking old Catenacci style and play for penalties?
That's one way. I mean, I'd back Onana in a penalty shootout rather than Ederson. And speaking of Ederson, today, like, the Real Madrid's best chances came from long shots. That was like the 2 chances that they had. Yeah, and if I'm Inter, Çalhanoğlu is one of the best ball strikers in Europe. He has a good shot on him. I'm striking that ball. Try and score a long shot. Brozovic has a decent shot on him. Nico Barella has a decent strike on him. Test Ederson early, see how he is, because Ederson, so far, he's been really good in the Champions League. He's had some good saves, but that guy has a mistake in him. And Inter, they might be in luck, and he has that mistake in him in the UCL final, so I'm testing him early. Try a couple long shots, because they have the players to do that. Maybe that could get into his head, and maybe that could lead to something else.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Basically, I think we're looking for something.
Luck. It's luck.
Yeah, something different happen. Like, football has to show its wild side.
For Man City, though, like, I think Pep, like, we talk about some changes. Pep should play with his most direct players. I think that's what he should do. I'm bringing Foden. I'm talking about Alvarez. Because we talk about Inter physical, right? Jack Grealish, great player, but I don't think he's meant for games like this. Like, he's going to slow the attack down. I think that will play into Inter's hands.
Oh, I'm playing Foden. Sam's going to want to come back.
So I think Foden and Alvarez, they could cause problems for those Inter defenders because they're also not the quickest. Trying to deal with Foden moving around the pitch because he's not only going to sit on the left. He's going to drift inside. He's going to take one of DeMarco or Dumfries with him, and that could cause trouble. Alvarez he's also experienced. Like, he's a young kid, but the kid started in the World Cup final. So he knows what the pressure is about. It's not like he's gonna be fazed by the pressure, and he could cost him because we saw today once those guys came on, they're direct. They want to attack, and I think against the Inter team that will sit back, it's not like against Real Madrid. I think Pep played with that front three because he was worried about Real Madrid's transition threat, obviously with Vinicius. That's why you saw Grealish and Bernardo tracking back like dogs. Against Inter, you're not gonna have that. You could probably trust his 4 center backs that he has in the back to deal with any transition threat. And the best way to suffocate is with Foden and Alvarez pushing them back. I think that's something Pep should consider. But who knows?
And then would you think of like what then bringing on Grealish to then maybe just control? Say they're 2-0 up.
Yeah.
60 minutes, control the game.
Yeah, set up shop and end it.
I wouldn't do that. I'm not gonna lie. That is for me. If you think about the way Inter have been playing, and later on they're bringing on the likes of Lukaku, and it's becoming more of a basketball game. That's when you start bringing on Foden and Alvarez.
No, but then that makes it more open for both teams. That's not what Pep would want. He'd want to bring on his guys to shut up shop and not allow Inter to make it.
Yeah, obviously we're assuming then they're in the lead, and then they bring on the likes of Grealish to just pass
everyone's
it and
assuming,
knock it
to
about.
be fair.
Yeah, but I don't know. Grealish today was amazing, man. I think we're seeing the old Villa Grealish here. I know the goals and assists aren't there, but he's doing exactly why everyone was raving about him. It was at Villa. He's winning the free kicks. He's driving at players. He's literally, you can't stop him. You have to foul him, and that's a massive thing. If he plays against the likes of Dumfries and Darmian on that side, I can just see them picking up yellow cards early in the game. I can see him holding the ball. I can see him going down the line, and the likes of Gundogan, De Bruyne, all getting in the box, and then just can you imagine all these Inter players just packed there, in the box, and then the cutbacks and the crosses as well, even the back post to Haaland, all of these little stuff. Exactly. Like I think Grealish right now is on form, and Bernardo today. I want to shout him out because a lot of us, I think even last year, were saying Mahrez should be starting. Just give us a bit of Mahrez. He's got the trickery. He's got all of this. But I think we're seeing why Bernardo plays. When the big games are happening, Bernardo has to play for Guardiola. And he's showing it today, man.
Sam, bit of a hot take then maybe from Michael saying, Grealish might not be suited to this game.
I think Grealish has come on so much since, in the last 6 months. I think he does find solutions this season to any type of opposition and formation. I think last year there'd have definitely been a case for Foden, maybe being a bit more dynamic, maybe someone who can go more on the outside. But Grealish has added that sort of aggressive element to his game as well. He's not afraid to go on the outside and try and cross it on his left foot either. And just seeing balance that he causes teams. He did it a couple of times sort of tonight early on. He just sucks in players so well. And if they want to put that, Dumfries and Darmian double team on him, that's fine, because he's also finding the gaps of Gundogan then running into sort of that inside channeling behind as well. And he also knows when to recycle it as well. He's not trying to overdo it all the time. He's finding that balance where he knows when to be aggressive and direct, and he knows when he can cut it back and recycle, and then we go to the other side and try it again. And it might be that we just have to be patient against this Inter team. I don't think Pep will mind that. I think he won't mind controlling the game for 60, 70 minutes and sort of just waiting and grinding down into that way. I think it's all just, the whole game, I think, for City is just going to be about controlling it and limiting Inter and really suffocating them to the point where they'll literally be back on their 6-yard box heading balls away and just hope something will drop, because we have got a predator in there who will get on the end of stuff. He got on the end of stuff tonight. He was probably lucky that Courtois was pulling out some ridiculous saves, but we're happy now to put the ball in and around the box. I think
huge difference.
Yeah, we're happy to do that. Probably the only anomaly to that was the Brentford game, funny enough, to what you were talking about earlier in terms of stars. But we played awfully that game. The whole 11 was off to the World Cup the next day. Whether you see that as an excuse or a reason, either way, we were absolutely dreadful, and it has been the only game where we properly haven't performed at home, really, and obviously lost. So yeah, I'm hoping it's not a repeat of that. But you guys are doing well, talking me into now it feels like 50-50 after all these reasons. We're a lot of reasons to make it even, but
I'm telling you, we're telling you how
I'll still be in the office telling you as well.
But Sonny, coming to the two teams that have lost, AC Milan, what happens with them? Rafael Leao, you could tell he wasn't fully fit. You can't blame the whole situation.
They're even struggling to get into Champions League.
I know. We the AC Milan team, the manager Pioli, is he the man to take them forward? Today, rumors of Maldini being sacked.
wow.
They're in a state of mess, man. Inter Milan, I thought, as I said, comfortably beat them over 2 legs. And then obviously Real Madrid. What happens to the 2 finalists now? Because Milan and Inter and City go marching on, but AC and Madrid both in a bit of, Milan, of course, far more turmoil, but Madrid ain't looking too healthy, Brad.
Which is an interesting one with Real Madrid, because I know they lost the league this season. I mean, Atletico Madrid are, I think, 2 points behind them as well. Obviously, they'll make Champions League. It's not a problem, Real Madrid. But at the same rate, they have had some really big wins as well this season. So obviously, they went to the Nou Camp. They won 4-0 there. Not many teams have even scored a goal past Barcelona, never mind beating Barcelona. I think next season is going to be interesting. It depends on who comes into Real Madrid this summer. It sounds like your man Jude Bellingham's going to be at Real Madrid this summer. There's talks
about Mbappe as well.
There's talks of obviously Alphonso Davies as well becoming a left back, so they can transition Camavinga back into central midfield, like you said as well. Mbappe is always, someone that gets spoken about. I think Real Madrid will be fine. It'll be interesting to see if Ancelotti does stay. I know obviously Ancelotti's come out and said he wants to stay, but Ancelotti doesn't run the club. The real mafioso is Florentino Perez, so he can easily just turn around and say, I don't want you anymore, because people do forget when Ancelotti won La Decima the next season, they made the semi-finals of the Champions League. I think they finished second in the league. They didn't win the Copa del Rey, and Ancelotti got sacked. So, there's no reason why Perez won't think to sack him again. As for Milan, like Ty mentioned, they are in a Serie A top 4 race. The previous weekend was huge. They lost 2-0 away to Spezia, which I couldn't believe, to be honest with you. I don't know if you guys saw the video of the AC player, speaking with the fans, the ultras. Like, that's what I love about Italian football. The passion is unbelievable, it's unrivaled, but they're in a race. They're 4 points off Lazio right now. I mean, do I think they're going to make it? They've got Juventus in a couple of weeks' time, who, say what you want about Juventus, but they look like they'll make top 4 as well. So a lot of it rides on top 4. I mean, I know Leao's talking about his new contract, etc. But if they don't make top 4,
I don't think they do.
Any club's going to come in for the players that AC Milan have, the big ones anyway. Like even a Tonali, for example, they're going to just look at him and be like, "Yeah, I'll have you." Hello. Like, what's to say Mike Maignan, for example? He's been a fantastic keeper for AC Milan this season. What's to say he won't go as well? Who's been a very big part for why they've done well as well. So, listen, they're in a bit of turmoil.
Which teams are looking for keepers, like big keepers? United.
Manchester United.
Michael puts up his hand straight away.
He's a Milan fan, though.
I think Chelsea will be in the market.
Chelsea will be in the market for a keeper. I mean, looking at that table, I think it's very, very fair to say, especially after the hurt and despondency of losing out yesterday or the other day, they're not going to reach.
And let's not forget, Grizz, people also need to remember that Milan might not finish in the Champions League spots, but they could also see another rival in terms of Italian football, Roma, win the Europa League, and they'll be in the Champions League. So you could have 5 of the big guns in the Champions League, and it'll only be Milan missing out.
And just a quick thing as well, going back onto Inter, there's an interesting fact which I actually found out. There's only one team, since Inzaghi's been a manager at Inter Milan, only one team have actually beaten them in a knockout cup competition in terms of the knockouts. And that certain team, Grizz, is beloved Liverpool. It was last season. That's the only team that have actually beaten them in a knockout cup competition. That was also a tricky
game, to be fair. They didn't make it easy.
Exactly. So if you think about it, over 2 years, they've only lost one game when it comes to the knockout ties, which, listen, I'm not trying to put pressure on Sam here, but listen, as a Man United fan, I'm trying to believe and trying to think.
We're trying to put some doubt in Sam's head. Sam's already got doubts. Ties in the other ear saying, "You got this. This is gonna be a and then you got Sane saying, "Well, Inter, they don't usually get beaten, in Sane style." I'm doing an impression of both of them.
I know, it's brilliant.
And then there's Sam in the middle saying, "Oh, well, what are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? Stop dragging me all over the place like the Real Madrid midfielders today, man."
Could I just throw one in there? I know we're not doing domestic tour, but obviously the treble is going to be part of what Sam and the guys are looking to do. Do you guys see City? And this is for the non-United fans, so obviously Grizz, Bilal, to be honest. But do you see Inter as being a more tricky game for City, or do you think United in the FA Cup final?
Oh, what a question! Oh, what a question! You the hostess with the mostess, really. Bilal, you give your waffle answer, then I'll give a proper answer.
It's tough. It's tough. I'll give my waffle answer. You know what it is? I think Pep might rotate in that Cup final. I think he might play Mara.
No
No, he
way.
won't. No
Hey,
shot.
hey,
He does
See
that.
what I'm
like,
saying?
right.
That's what I told you. Go to Bilal first. Give the
Yeah,
waffle
he-
answer.
No,
he-
I
Are
think
you
that was it.
mad?
Bro, they have a
Listen,
week's
if you
rest.
wanna-
There's a week gap
This would
between the
happen.
league ending, FA Cup, and a week before the Champions League.
Bro, there's
final.
no way he's letting his neighbors win an FA Cup on his head. There's
And
no
also-
shot he'll ever allow
And
that.
also,
Playing
Bilal,
Alvarez
he
and
could
Mahrez
do
isn't
the
a weakness
treble.
team.
Bilal, come on, he could do the treble here. Rotate. Come on, man.
Okay,
If I was
so-
him,
If I was him,
if I was him, I'm playing Mahrez and Alvarez against Man United in that. Cup
I hope
final.
he does.
And then
I pray he does.
I think they
just
win,
rethink, Bilal.
regardless.
Rethink. Yeah, take
To
a
be
second out, my brother.
Yeah, yeah. What's
Take a
your honest
second out.
answer, Bilal? What if they play full strength?
Okay,
one
what's
of
the
us
hardest
goes
team?
8, I'd like. Just,
Ten Hag
Yeah.
is weird, man. Is Rashford fit?
He's
That's the
weird.
thing.
Yeah, he's back in training.
He's training
He's
back
back in
already.
training.
He's fit
Alright,
for that game.
cool. The thing is, the Martial. Listen, even when you guys got smacked, he scored 2 goals.
Keep that guy out of my lineup, man, please.
I'm gonna do a poll on my. I'm gonna do a poll. on
Yeah,
my
you know what?
social
I think
media.
it's tough. I think
gonna do a poll.
Inter's a harder game just because different country. You're going to Istanbul, different stadium, Champions League final. It's definitely the harder game. But that Man
Yeah.
United game still is a hard game. But I think the Inter game with the way they're set up as well, the cup run that they're on, I think that is a harder game.
It's a hard
fair.
question to ask the United lads, but obviously put your United hats away because we're trying to make a neutral
Yeah.
show of this. But Sonny, how do you see those two games? And which one would you say if would be the harder game? We'll obviously get the Sam answer at the end. For you,
For me personally, I think the Inter Milan game will be a harder game. Speaking objectively, I mean, I was at the FA Cup final on the weekend. Unfortunately, saw the women lose, but I just think the way Man City are playing,
stay
the
away
way
from the men's game then.
the way we, yeah, exactly, the way we're playing as well. Yes, we're getting wins, but we're not playing well. Yes, in the final, anything can happen. It's a derby, it's a rivalry. I get all that sort of stuff, but I just think Inter Milan, they're better equipped, I think, to beat Manchester City as opposed to us. But listen, anything can happen. Anything
Quick
can happen.
question, just for the Man United fans. Are you guys worried it could be like, remember that Man City, was it Watford final? It was like,
No,
Yo,
no,
relax.
no.
Bro.
You guys-
relax, bro. Relax, bro.
Bro, you held 7.
We're not holding 6. We're not holding 6. We're not holding
I
6.
don't know.
I'm not
Not
confident, but
holding
I'm not that. you
Well,
know.
But
Wembley-
can I build you guys up a little bit in terms of we spoke about Inter's transition or lack of transition pace and intensity, but we spoke about Inter's ruggedness at the back. Are we assuming? Because I don't know, you guys will know more. Martinez is definitely
Aye,
out for the rest of the
he's
season.
He's out.
Definitely
He's
out.
out.
Varane's back
Varane-
though. That's
Varane's
good.
back, yeah. So it will likely be Varane and
Lindelof.
Maguire or
Lindelof.
Lindelof. Varane and Lindelof.
I disagree. I think it's going to be
Shaw?
Varane and Luke Shaw. I think
I
it'll
really
be-
don't
he
wanna see
played-
Tyrone
he played-
Malacia,
He played
man.
Varane and Luke Shaw at Old Trafford, and we beat
He
them.
did.
And
Might
Luke
do
Shaw,
that.
and Luke Shaw's 6'1" and he's quick as well. I played Luke Shaw,
Yeah.
and I'm also going to answer my own question while I'm talking. I think
Mhm.
Man United is the harder game, and I'm taking.
So do I.
I'm not even being biased. I just think that in terms of
Ah.
what you need to hurt City, we have more of that, and I think that
Then Linter. I agree.
Inter are better in terms of the defensive shape than us. But I feel like if I had to pick one of the two, I think that our attack in terms of the transition on the pace is better than what Inter's defense is over our defense. I think our
Yeah,
defense,
this- I was literally going to say it, and then AB just said it for me. The only problem for me in your team, in your game, if you're going to put Shaw at centre back, which I think Shaw's been very good apart from that handball, which was a madness, right? If you're going to put Shaw at centre back, who, as I said, has been great, then you're going to obviously play, unless there's someone else.
No,
unless
he
you're
played
gonna switch-
Dallo. He might play Dallo there.
Unless you put
Yeah,
Dallo there.
yeah.
Unless you
And-
put Dallo there and bring in Aaron Wan-Bissaka to lock up Grealish on the other side, Malacia is going to cause you lot problems.
I don't trust him on that Wembley pitch. No, that pitch is way too big. I trust him
Don't
on that
forget
pitch.
Griggs. Don't forget Griggs, and just throwing it in there. When we played him at Old Trafford, he even done that thing of putting Fred man marking De Bruyne, and it worked sensational for 45 minutes. I'm not saying he might not do it again. He might do it again because it did work really well. Martial in the press in the middle, shutting down Rodri, getting the ball.
Varane manhandling.
And it was Bruno
Haaland.
Fernandes. And it was
We're
Bruno
building it
Fernandes.
up. We're building it up.
I mean,
Yeah,
to be fair, we
And it
have
was
the
Bruno
transition
Fernandes
threads.
on the right. It was Bruno Fernandes on the right over Anthony.
I'm not doing that, to be fair. I'd
wouldn't
go
do
with...
that, but yeah.
I'd start Rashford at striker in that game, personally. I'm starting Rashford at striker. I am trying to see Anthony Martial on that pitch. No offense to him. I ain't trying to see him. This guy's gonna miss his city.
Martial. We're gonna speak about Martial.
Garnacho, I think Garnacho has a big part to play because he's back as well. That pitch is big and he's quick. And I've seen him spawn. He spawned Ake. He could spin Akanji, for example. If it's Garnacho versus Akanji, I'm taking my youngster. I think he could. I think Rashford will cause him trouble.
Look at us, Chris. Now that we're all believing in
Akanji's not slow, you know. I've seen Akanji. This guy is running too much.
No, but
Garnacho got that dog in him though. Yo, he don't want that smoke, man.
We're gonna come to Sam now because we left Sam obviously till last because he's the one who's gonna face both teams, right? And we spoke about Inter, and you already know about United. Which one is gonna be the hardest game for you then?
Yeah, luckily it came to me last because I was still thinking about it for the last few minutes.
Yeah, I didn't ask you at work, Sam. I knew I was going to ask it on here.
Yeah, thinking ahead. Yeah, I probably would say United still. I probably would say United. I do think they've just added threat of mainly Rashford. To be honest, I don't think Inter's got anybody in that, in their team really with that sort of pace and goals. And I do think it's just playing a derby game at Wembley it does add a different element. I know in Champions League final as well, in terms of dynamics, they're going to be two very different types of games. One being a Champions League final abroad, one being
hold on, is that true?
No, he's not.
No,
Ten Hag said not to him. He said you ain't going anywhere.
Okay.
Yes, you're staying. And Rashid is back. Obviously, your comments are asking. He is back, so he's training today.
Yeah, sorry, Sam. So yeah, you still think it's going to be the?
I just think Rashford and Fernandes have that added quality really. I suppose the element is just off the ball, how United deal with that because obviously they got the result at Old Trafford just about, but I feel like we still controlled large parts of that game, and I think the likes of Rodri and Bernardo, Gundogan. Rodri especially had a decent game at Old Trafford. He outshone Casemiro in that game, especially, and I think he's going to have to do the same again when we play him at Wembley. And I think, I just think United do have a more of a unpredictable element to them going forward. Maybe I haven't watched Inter enough. Maybe they are equally chaotic at times. But yeah, just the pace down the middle. Maybe that Inter haven't got is where kind of it comes into it.
I'm gonna. Because neither team can wrap up like Bilal suggesting they're going to rotate. Can you guys afford to rotate and rest? No, I'm not saying United.
We'll have a beach rest, right?
Because you're.
Well, to be fair though, I don't want to mention. I know you're trying to go with this, but we can have it wrapped up by next Thursday.
You can.
So you're saying against Fulham, park it up. So
if we wrap it up by Thursday, obviously. I don't like rotating before cup finals though because we did it against Villarreal.
Because not a lot, but a few of your players look like
they're tired. They're tired.
Casemiro looks out.
Yeah, he ain't playing that national. Rusty Casemiro is scary though. I don't know.
Yeah, Casemiro is actually the one that looks tired, but he needs rhythm.
Bro, this guy Rusty is the worst player I've ever seen in my life.
He's drunk. Eriksen needs to be not playing. Right? Just save him for a week.
No. Eriksen cannot play in that cup final. If Eriksen plays in that cup final, I'm changing my prediction. Man City are whitewashing us.
You get run over.
Wow.
Man.
I don't. That guy in a cup final against that Man City press, those legs, Bernardo Silva will eat him alive. I ain't having that guy. I'm putting Freddie.
If Modric and Kroos are anything to go by, Griggs has got a point. Because look how they ran over.
And Modric has an engine more than Eriksen, for example, even though he's like 5 years older than him.
Sane, question for you.
Ooh.
Yeah, good man. You picked the right person.
I need to ask this for Sam as well because I remember that I saw that clip on the Twitter or something of these Man City fans being asked like, would you lose the Champions League final?
Yeah. That's an easy answer.
The FA Cup. No, they all said they'll win the FA Cup against Man United. They said bun the Champions League on that video. So I don't know what Sam feels, but we'll ask him later.
Sani, what are you saying about this one?
It's $1 million question. Trophy.
Is it?
This is really easy for me.
Because the thing is, the treble, right? Regardless of whether we like to admit it or not, the treble is the holy grail of whenever any debate starts on what's the best team in England, what's the best achievement, it's always the treble. It's always the treble. It's the only thing that ever
you hold on to
gets
it,
spoken
fans,
about, right? It's the biggest thing ever. It's like, for example, if someone else went invincible, Arsenal, with all due respect, Bilal, would be irrelevant when it comes to a conversation.
Look at it, Sane.
Big achievement.
A year to this point, we were all thinking about Liverpool doing a quadruple, and how did we feel?
Exactly, right? Exactly. And this is the thing. at the end of the day, if Man City win, because I think Man City winning the Champions League is inevitable. If they don't win it, they will still win it at some point. It's irrelevant. But a treble, they don't come that often, if we're being honest. So for me personally,
Yeah, but in the question, they're not doing the treble regardless, because if we beat them in the FA Cup, then they have no treble.
they don't have a treble, but we don't make Champions League. For me personally, trophies are trophies.
Oh, we don't
I
make
say.
Champions League.
Yeah, we don't make Champions League, and obviously that's a
Oh.
big thing for us because if we win the
I read
FA
that
Cup
question
and don't
wrong.
make Champions League, then next season, realistically, we're going to be back in the Europa League. It's going to be another year behind where we need
Griggs is
to
an
be.
easy question.
It's a hard
No,
question.
no. Put that question back up. Put that question back up.
It's a hard question. It's a hard.
It says
Yeah, that's
beat
what
them
I
in.
mean.
I mean, win
I meant
FA
we
and
win FA
City.
Cup and City
Yeah,
win the
then they
Yeah,
don't
I
have a
don't mind
treble.
that.
Griggs,
I'm
you know what
happy
you
with
did?
that. I'm
I read it
happy
right
with
then. I read it
I'm
right
happy,
then.
you read
I'm
it
happy
right.
if they win. If we win the FA Cup and win the Champions League, I'm not bothered by that because, like I said, it's inevitable. Manchester City
Yeah,
win
Kevin,
the Champions League.
Kevin, that's a waste man question then.
The
No
treble-
UCL part triggered
No
me. Nah,
disrespect.
We need
No
UCL.
disrespect.
You
We need
obviously
UCL.
you'll pick to win the trophy. You'll pick
What is
Yeah,
anyone
yeah.
disagreeing with that? Yeah,
unless
is
you're
anyone-
Tottenham or something. That's like a Tottenham mentality. You'll
Ty,
be like, oh,
surely
I
you're
don't
not
want to win.
disagreeing with that, are you?
Some
Or
ups
are
and
you-
No, no,
are
no.
you
I
gonna
want
go-
Man United to win trophies, whatever they come. So I'm
Yeah,
focused on my
exactly.
club winning.
Yeah.
Let them win the Champions League. That's fine.
Yeah.
We still get a cup. We get a domestic double out of it. It's
Mm.
fine.
I'd rather win the FA Cup. But that treble cannot happen. Like, with all due respect to Sam, amazing team, amazing achievement, but the treble is the biggest thing in
So-
English football.
Sarni, it's just a
regardless.
shame because I'll be honest with you. Like, I feel like everyone here, apart from Sam, would just say if I had to pick a percentage, 100, 0 to 100 being realistic, I think 90% the treble's in the bag. Like, I really do.
Yeah, I know,
I
and
agree.
this is why my biggest gripe with a lot of Man United fans, who, especially from down south, they kept saying, "Oh, I'm so happy Arsenal will bottle the league." I was like, "You guys don't know what's at stake here," because the treble, like I keep saying, it's the biggest thing in English football, and the fact that Manchester City are about to emulate it, then serious conversations are going to be had about what's the best team in English football history, and Manchester City's team is going to definitely be in that conversation, as far as I'm concerned.
Bilal, you have been summoned to court.
I'm present, Judge. What is the
I'm
charges?
these are the charges. I saw something on Twitter about Bilal telling Liverpool fans 18 titles can't come with Chester Arsenal in his league football. Explain
Yeah,
yourself.
listen, I have too many Liverpool fans in my mentions. You guys were celebrating way too much when Brighton did us the other night. Man, honestly, out of all, I thought Man United fans were going to come for me, which I saw them enjoying, but it's Man United fans, they're just. But Liverpool fans, I felt betrayed, man. And I saw too many celebrating. I agree. And Grizz already turned on me a couple months ago. He said he wants Man City to win. So
I've
listen,
actually got an interesting
is what
question
it
as well
is.
for the
It
panel
is
as
what-
well. So, say if Manchester City win this treble, where do you think that puts them as a club? I mean, maybe Sam can answer this one first, but where do you see them in terms of a club of a stature and size compared to like a Chelsea and Arsenal once, let's say they've done the treble, for example, 3 in a row in terms of league
I
titles?
think they'd be
as
the
well?
third biggest club in England.
Wow. Sam, what do you reckon?
I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to say actually, in terms of as a City fan, because I just kind of view it from the inside. Not if once you win the treble, in terms of my perspective of the club won't change. It's more over people from the outside, over fans, etc. Globally, that the perception will change after that. So yeah, it's kind of a difficult one for me to answer because I'll just obviously it'd be absolutely incredible, and the season will come around next year, and I'll just be going to games again. With my dad, like I always have. So yeah, it won't really actually change much for many City fans themselves, other than being able to come on shows like this and say, yeah, we've got the best team ever in England. So we'll put it in there in the conversation. Anyway, but then someone else will find another caveat. We'll have Liverpool fans saying, now we've got to win 5 or 6. So
exactly.
yeah,
Well, yes.
It will never stop. It will never stop. You win one.
You better,
exactly.
you better believe we're still going to say, well, you need.
I think
another 5%.
Man City are gonna have something that like the Chelsea and Arsenal haven't had in the
That's the
modern
thing,
era,
isn't it?
especially.
Yeah.
They haven't dominated an era. Like Liverpool dominated their era, right, in the 80s and stuff. Man United dominated like the 2 decades, and now Man City have dominated pretty much a whole decade. Arsenal haven't done that. Chelsea have never done that. They've gotten their trophies like
The issue is the only issue
periods,
is
but they haven't dominated football in England. Liverpool have done it, Man United have done it, and now Man
Briggs coming
City
with
has done it.
some. Oh,
No,
Good
listen,
now.
that's true. But the only thing I would say, the only problem, literally, and I feel sorry for Man City fans, the ones that don't care, fair enough. Like, enjoy your club. You don't have anything to do with it. But at the end of the day, it is like Man City are never going to be bigger than Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal. Like, it's one of those ones where
won't
Man
they
City,
though,
the way it's been
eventually,
constructed,
if they continue to win,
Yeah.
if they win another decade of trophies and non-stop, if they win
Mhm.
8 out of the next 10 Premier Leagues and another three Champions League.
Also with Arsenal,
The thing is-
Arsenal are just synonymous with being the culture club of England. That's their bag. It's not nothing to do with winning. You don't
it's not.
symbolize
I've got the most
Arsenal.
FA Cups.
Bilal is
I've got the most
hating
FA
this.
Cups.
I know,
I've
but
got
they're known for their culture, right? Thierry Henry, the aura,
my
like
three
just the
Prem,
fun
I've got my
football.
14 league title. Listen,
I mean, some people.
Yeah, I know what you
give
mean.
you
Yeah,
the
they-
vibe
vibe,
of
the
FA.
street
yeah, no,
football,
culture club,
yeah.
yeah, 100%. But the thing
Yeah,
is,
they're the streets
the
club.
point is, the
the
point is
street.
with Man City,
Mm.
and it's going to be like that even with Newcastle. The way it's happened is the reason why. Even why is everyone happy when Man City wins the league and not Arsenal and not Liverpool and not Man United? Why is that?
alternative.
But there's a reason for that because Man City at the end of the day still haven't got that,
Do you
and
know
they
what
might,
it is?
and
You
they
know,
probably will never get that. And
It's just as I see now when you go to like my nephews. I've got loads of nephews, right? You go to watch them on football training. You've got some little kids obviously wearing like a Harden 9 kit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The truth is, it's just a generational thing. It's simple as that. So when we're older, or me and Grizz are older, and we're watching games in 2077, say for example, by then the next generation of kids have grown up on City being the best and stuff like that. It's just how football just evolutionizes or revolutionizes, should I say, and changes. At the moment, it's just a generational thing. Like Sam is probably one of the youngest but very realistic supporters. I know we supported him since he ever started supporting football. But you're getting them 10-year-olds or 13-year-olds, and that's starting to get into it now. And I just think it's a generational thing. But they will get there eventually. But of course, it's Liverpool and Man United.
To be fair, listen.
Do you know what, Brad? Sorry, I want to say one thing. I don't actually think they care. The good thing about Man City and what I love, Dap says it to me a lot. Sam has never said it to me either. They don't care about being the biggest club or being up there with Man United. If Man City are winning trophies every year, they don't care about being the biggest club. I'd rather be, if I supported Man United and we weren't the biggest club, but we were winning trophies all the time, I'm cool. Why does it matter about being the biggest? You want to be
it doesn't at the moment, and this is my answer to the people that say that to me, and we have kind of these kind of debates. It doesn't at the moment because they're a relatively new club. What I mean by that is a new club in the big time. Yeah. And with coming into the big time comes great responsibility, comes great aura about you. You have to have more than just trophies, and they will eventually. Their owners are very, full of pride about their club, and they will want to be the biggest club in the world as well as the most successful. I get it from the fans' point of view. Pile up the trophies. I can't give a shit what you say about me. I don't give a shit about what you say. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. I just want trophies. But then the owners, the culture takes over afterward. The more you win, you have to become more than winners. You have to sell the most shirts. You have to have the biggest stadium. You have to have the most backing, the most sponsorship. Everything comes with the package, I think. And that's what's eventually going to happen. Who took that question off, man? I want to bring that question up, please. Back up, man. I've got a feeling it was Sani. That's my friend Tom Izzy's question, man. He said, I can't remember now. He goes, Seville versus, because obviously Eurostars, it's not solely about Champions League. We're going to end it with, he wants to know, Salam, good morning. Big up Tom Izzy all the way from Brunei. He came to see me actually, so big himself up.
Big up,
yeah. We linked up. We had a Costa. I treated him to a Costa. All the way from Brunei, and I treat him to a Costa. Yeah, slap me, man, slap me. But no, he wasn't hungry. Starbucks. No, that's another question for another day. Starbucks is finished for me. Finished.
Really?
Starbucks is the worst. What's come up in my estimation, and rivals Costa now is Greg's. Not Greg's.
What about Pret?
No, Greg's. Greg's is up their levels. Yo, they're doing an omelette roll in the morning.
Greg's elite. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Elite.
Yeah, Greg's
even the Greg's
good price.
When
It's top. It's
was there
easy.
Greg's in London? When was there Greg's in London?
Bro, man. See, that's what I'm saying. This is like a thing for you, innit? You're up in the Midlands, right? So you don't know about these things, man. You're a bit 10 years behind us and shit. In terms of, man. Yeah. You
need
need
the
to,
HS2. What you on about?
You need to get with the times, man. You people in the Wolverhampton area and shit, man. Get out of it, man. Get into the big, you know what I mean? He says, Salam and good morning, Grizz and panel. Mourinho against Seville. Anyone? Bilal has Mourinho got anything? That's a quite a matchup though. The legacy and the heritage of Seville versus Mourinho.
Yeah, if obviously it has to go through, Roma and Sevilla.
Yeah.
Sevilla looking good against Juve right now. Roma, is it 1-0, right? against Leverkusen.
Yeah.
So, listen, that'll be a great final, to be honest. The heritage of Sevilla in the Europa League. And it's crazy how they're well, it's not, is it crazy how they're performing? It's just mad how like certain clubs just have an affinity with the competition. The way Sevilla have been in La Liga all season to
They've
what
done
they're
better
doing now.
recently, Bilal, since they changed the manager. In the
Yeah,
league.
fair enough. Fair enough. But they're still the form, man. In the Europa League, it's insane. So it was last year they got knocked out by West Ham. You know, that was disappointing for them. On paper, they still had a better team than West Ham. Should have got knocked out. But yeah, listen, Roma. If Mourinho does this, I've seen some people saying it. Is this his best achievement? Like, not best achievement ever, but in recent years, man, I think this will be such a great moment for him.
I think it will be, guys. I don't know what you guys think. I think it will be
amazing.
Porto Champions League.
Yeah. You
I
can't
think
beat
Porto
that.
and Inter were better.
You can't beat that. You can't beat it. I think Inter as well. Actually, I think Inter was the biggest.
Inter treble, yeah, that was top.
That was,
but this City
since his Real Madrid stint, though.
Obviously, Sevilla playing Juventus, but Pogba went off injured again on Sunday, and it's just gutting because I thought he could be the difference for Juve in this second leg. They've missed a spark in midfield.
Come on, stop this Pogba change.
He got the assist. He got the assist.
Seriously,
he got the assist for the game time goal.
Yeah, like
are you seriously bigging up a assist that Weghorst could have done?
Don't do that. He ain't do nothing. Weghorst ain't do nothing.
Get that red hat off. Judge his ability, not the red mystery.
Okay, that's fine. But you lot are bigging up an assist like he just put it back.
No. What I'm saying is.
Oh, we got this is Greg's.
No, but it's the game changing. Like even if it was like
Harry Maguire could have got that assist.
Oh, he can't. Harry Maguire ain't got that.
Locatelli, Rabiot, and Fagioli, whoever they're playing at the moment. Let's be honest, they're not having that. They haven't got that Stardust quality or that Stardust pass.
But that's the midfield that's gotten back into the mix, though. That's the midfield that's gone back into the mix, Juve. They started winning games. Now they're back on a roll. They're playing the old Juve style.
But you need a bit more when you want to win a European championship. Not obviously not Champions League, but a European trophy. But this is getting to the top 4 of Serie A, which is not a great league at the moment. Let's be honest. Pogba, I'm just saying, adds a different profile, adds a bit of spark to their midfield. And I think in the second leg, they're going to miss that because he started on the weekend to get minutes to start on Thursday. And look, he's gone out again.
Vlahovic needs to rise as well, man. He's catching a lot.
I'm so glad that guy's not coming to this club. I've said to people for ages, I do not want this guy. I know Griggs likes him, but
he's he was never my top 3 target for me.
He's linked with you guys below. I'm not hot on him, man.
I don't know, man. When you're playing for Juve, I don't know how to judge players, to be honest. Like, so when he plays, he looks good, but he's quality. We know QS is top. But yeah, I don't know, man. Pogba, such a good talent, man. I feel like all those years I loved him, you know, even if there was at Man United, I was just like, why is he at Man United, man? That guy should be at Arsenal.
Let's end the stream. I think we know about the Champions League and we'll address it. Let's end the stream with a prediction for how we can think the Europa League final is going to end up. Like which 2 teams are getting through. So Roma are winning 1-0.
Yeah, they're going away to Leverkusen.
Yeah. Right, but they're away to Leverkusen. Xabi Alonso's Leverkusen. So you guys know where I'm on that one. And in the other tie?
1-1. Going back to Sevilla.
Sevilla, man.
So what are you saying, Bill? I'll go with you first.
Sevilla. Listen, I think... you know what? Leverkusen, man, they're actually a really fun team to watch.
Yeah.
Their tie against Monaco earlier on this season was so good. Like, it was words, all of these players, like, they're just a fun team. But I think Roma are just gonna scum their way just scum their way to the final. Mourinho's not gonna let this one slip. I think Sevilla are gonna win. I think Sevilla are gonna win at home. I think the atmosphere is gonna be so on top of Juve. They believe that they're gonna win under the lights, man, at the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan. So yeah, I think Roma Sevilla. Great final, and when it gets to that final, to be honest, I'm not sure which way.
No, we won't predict that yet. Obviously, we'll do Eurostars after that. Sane?
I think Roma win that game 1-0. And I agree with Bilal. I think Sevilla go through. I think that's going to be 2-0, and it'll be a Roma-Sevilla final in Budapest.
Roma-Sevilla final.
Lovely city.
Griggs?
I got Roma winning as well. I think Mourinho's going to stink up the joint tomorrow, and they're going to find it so hard to score against him. We saw him do it against, I think, was it Feyenoord or something that he did against a previous leg? Or Sociedad.
The final last year.
Sociedad, that was the one that he did it later. I actually think Juve are going through. I think them scoring that last minute goal to make it 1-1 kind of gives them like a little bit more belief kind of little momentum. Remember what Sevilla did against us? They scored those 2 late goals.
Uh,
They had that momentum going. I think Juve have it, and they have enough players that are used to the big occasion, like Di Maria. He knows how to win and stuff like that. So I'm backing Juve. I think it's gonna be all Italian affair in the final.
That's gonna be a nasty game.
So nasty.
Don't bother watching that. Ty, what are you saying?
I'm gonna just go Roma, Leverkusen 1-0. Roma go through, and then I'm gonna go Sevilla 1-0 home win.
Sam?
I'm going to go all Italian final as well.
I'm going opposite of all of you fuckers.
He's gonna say Leverkusen and
All
Sevilla.
of you. No, and I'm telling you now. I'm telling you now it's gonna happen, and you're gonna say, "Oh shit."
I hope it
Fucking
does.
old man-
I really-
old man's right again.
I really
You're
shot
not gonna come
Alonso's
back.
team.
You say, "Old man's right again." We need to put some respect on his name. You're gonna have to put some respect on my name. When
You're going
Xabi
Xabi
Alonso,
and
when
the
Xabi
Everton.
Alonso does his thing on Mourinho, this is gonna be the start of Xabi Alonso's new manager.
No guess as to who Grizz supports then.
You know what?
Brav!
In Sevilla, that's a
That's
final we'll want to watch. Like we'll be interested, like as a neutrals, just to sit down and watch Leverkusen Sevilla.
But Juve will end the Seville, like you know how City ended the
Dynasty.
dynasty, the heritage, the aura of Madrid in the Champions League. Tomorrow, is it tomorrow?
Yeah.
Juve, the old lady. Is Di Maria fit, guys?
I think he should be.
Anyone know?
Thing is, Juve
Okay.
are bozos in Europe as well, man. Look at
Juve,
their record
Leverkusen
in
final, and then obviously when it gets closer to the game, we'll discuss it and
Mm.
see their form and whatnot, guys.
And just
Thank you
quickly,
very much.
hopefully,
Conference League?
and you know what? I hope West Ham make the Conference League final. I know it goes under the radar.
Nah,
No. We need
Oh,
get Christ, get Christ, bro. Tank
that.
that game. Score.
You
own
know what's
goal.
funny? My father-in-law's
you to
going. He's
first.
flight. My father-in-law's going. He's going at 7 o'clock in the morning.
That's why you're beginning out.
All the way
That's
to
why-
Alphabet
You
FC.
got to.
Yeah, I got to.
You got to big it up. Your family in the
I'll
building.
tell you what, the other
Yeah.
game's interesting though, because I mean Fiorentina in the Coppa Italia final. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but Basel, they lost 6-1 on the weekend.
Yeah, but
So-
there's a reason why they lost, right? Because their focus is on here, bro.
They
Look,
lost,
they
yeah,
got
but
the-
losing 6-1's like a big.
Haven't they got? But they've got it
Big
wrapped,
result.
innit?
What? Who?
No,
Basel?
No,
No,
they
They don't win the league anymore.
They don't win the league. They're sixth. They're sixth in the league. They just lost. They lost 6-1 to 7th. So it's not even like they faced
Yeah,
top.
but they
of the
must
league
have. They
table.
must. Yeah, but they must have just. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're throwing all
eyes-
their eggs on this.
They are, but
Yeah.
what I'm saying is like that's still like a big result, losing 6-1, regardless of if
Nah.
you're putting all your eggs
Mohamed Salah's first team. I've got vested interest there as
I
well.
hope Fiorentina
So
make
I
it.
can't
He
Basel.
played for both, by the way. He played for Fiorentina too. Don't forget
Of
that.
course.
El Neni, Bars Arteta claimed that one.
I mean, I don't know. You guys may have
Xhaka's
seen
brother
him,
as
but
well.
there's Batistuta used to play for Fiorentina. He was a great striker,
Yeah.
wasn't he?
Oh, my dad
Yeah,
loved
of course.
him. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Yeah.
But
Maybe
I'm
he
going-
resurrect Fiorentina.
I don't want West
Oh.
Ham. I can't stand Moyes, obviously.
Yeah, I hate him. Was
Yeah, I hate and West Ham.
Oh.
Horrible club. Get out. But it is what it is. I grew up in the ends, man. You know what I mean? Get out of here.
I didn't know they hated me, man. These West Ham fans, man. I thought we
Everyone
were
hates
cool.
you, bro.
Bro,
Everyone hates you on
I've
Twitter.
been
Everyone hates you on
confused.
Twitter, bro.
No,
Bro,
no,
the way
no,
you've been
like,
getting
West
on this season, a little bit of glory has got to your head. Big
Bro,
time.
you tweet with gifs every single tweet, bro. You tweet like a Declan Rice or Arteta gift, bro. They tired of you.
West Ham fans, like Tottenham
People,
and Chelsea,
people
that's your
first and
beef, man, not
foremost,
me.
you lot all need to follow Bilal right now. Because Bilal's Twitter account.
He did it today again. I tweeted, who's stopping Man City in the Champions League next year? And this guy posted an Arteta gift right under my tweet.
Wembley 2024. Guys, clip this up. Arsenal will be in the Champions League final next season. Clip it up now. I will be there.
Get out of the group because I think the last how many campaigns you ain't got out of the group, right? So yeah, you're behind Man City in the heritage of Champions League. So please, actually, you are. Oh shit, you are.
I looked at Wenger's record, yeah.
Behind
you've been in it
Spurs.
more times than
They reached the
Spurs on
final. He's behind Spurs. Spurs reached the final more recently than
Yeah,
Arsenal had.
2018. Ours is 06. But you know, I looked at Wenger's records, like 177 games for Arsenal in the Champions League, 0 trophies, man. You know, like I just
Final, just one final.
all these games, all these wins away from home against Real Madrid, but no trophy. Like, I
He
don't
walks so
understand,
Poch
but
can
I hope-
run. It's okay.
Yeah, but now I
Yeah.
feel for you, man. All the big boys, Arsenal, Liverpool. I mean, Man United, Liverpool, not gonna come stronger next year. You don't got to rise up again, boy.
If Man City win this as well,
Mm.
then Arsenal fans are gonna get trolled all through the summer. Because if Man City had the Champions League as well, that means Chelsea have won it, United have won it, Liverpool.
Oh, I've
have
seen.
won it.
Oh, you think that's bad? I've seen Arsenal fans want City to win the treble. They're like, let's City win all. Yo, they're little groupies for City. That's why I think they are.
Listen, As long as Man United fans are crying, I'm
what I'm
leaving
saying?
with something.
You know, so the thing is, obviously, now none of you lot had the thing to ask me the main question, but we'll discuss it another time when it gets closer to the time. Like, do I want Man United to win the FA Cup, which means the City don't win the treble? Do you know what I mean? Or
your biggest rivals are us, so I'm surprised if you pick us deep down.
Yeah, same here.
But we'll save it.
I'll be supporting City for I don't want
do
Man
I
United
really
to have the
want
same
I don't
City
think
to
because
win?
that's
Do
something
I
Liverpool
really
haven't
want
done
City
yet.
treble?
That's something Liverpool haven't done yet. That's a
No, I'm with Ty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he can't see us winning something.
I can't.
Mm.
No. But yeah, let's City win. Again, it's gonna. I'm sorry, Sam. Who cares?
This is the issue with City, man. This is why they're going to win
I
everything.
wind up
They're going to
Steve
keep on
so
winning
much.
because
He
of this.
gets so wound up. He starts swearing and everything. Starts sending me voice. I just listen. Do what you want, man. Who cares, man? Stop phoning me. Who cares about you? Oh Lord. But listen, guys, it's been wonderful. It's been amazing. I really enjoyed today's chat. Yeah, man. Roll on Champions League final. Inter Milan versus Man City. Shit, man. This could be history in the making. Ain't looking good, bruv. This has been Eurostars. Take care.